everyone, and today we're back into another top 5, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 barb setters in all of Loomian Legacy. Barbs and Poison Barbs will count for this list, but unfortunately we will not count Icicle Traps. But if a Loomian has Barbs or Poison Barbs, they are allowed. So let's head right into this top 5. But before we do that, we're doing a giveaway, and we're giving away 2 Gamma Sluglings. And if you want to have a Gamma Slugling, just say Gamma Slugling in the comments below. I will give you a number, and then in a few days later, I will spin the wheel, the random number generator wheel, and I will have 2 winners. Yep, 2 winners. I will pick 2 numbers, and if the numbers are picked that are yours, you will win a Gamma Slugling. So yeah. It's another dual giveaway, and I hope you guys win this awesome Gamma Slugling. Let's head right into the top 5. Number 5 onto the list is actually going to be Odacho. And yes, you could also put Spreezy at number 5 on the list as well. But I think Odacho works a little bit better because of defensive priority. And considering with Drop of Youth, it has better bulk than Spreezy. But you could also put Spreezy up here too. Odacho is very, very tanky. Well, despite being a pure bug type, it tanks so many hits, mainly because of its ability, defensive priority. And while it has the slowest speed in the game because of it, it doesn't matter when you're so bulky. And you get health back from Sap Plant, you have dodge to dodge, and you can also click return to sender to destroy melee attackers. Range attackers, I mean. And this is actually one of the few bug types that could potentially beat Stratosaur in a 1v1. Like, look at it. This thing is 1v1ing Stratosaur. That says a lot. It's also just a very good Loomian that plays Poison Barbs overall. The reason why it is only number 5 is because it doesn't have access to Barbs. It only has access to Poison Barbs, and being a pure bug type makes it weak to Icicle Traps, which does make it struggle a little bit. Despite that, though, Odacho is still a very bulky Loomian that can tank a lot of hits, and it's definitely a top 5 barb setter in Loomian Legacy. So yeah, number 4 onto the list is actually going to be Seer Knight. Yep, Seer Knight is on the list. And honestly, a big reason why Seer Knight is on the list is its typing. Fire Metal is an amazing typing. You have 3 quad resistances with this Loomian, and yes, you are quad weak to Earth, but a lot of Earth type moves are melee. And if you have the Terrifying boost with your high melee defense, you can sometimes tank a quad effective hit, which is kind of insane. Kind of a little OP, don't you think, Seer Knight? And also, it has the access to Barbs and Slapdown. Barbs, which can deal damage to the opposing Loomian, while Slapdown can get rid of items. With its high melee bulk and terrifying ability to stun melee attackers, this thing is awesome. This has to be in the top 5, despite not having Poison Barbs. And honestly, it's probably the easiest Loomian to place Barbs with. There's a lot of videos where Jamie just places Barbs with Seer Knight in general. This strategy also works with Radburn, but the problem is that Radburn is pure fire. It doesn't have the quad resistances, although you don't have that pesky quad weakness to Earth, which does help it out a little bit. Radburn could also be on this list too, but I would recommend Seer Knight just because of the 3 quad resistances. Plus, it can be used well with the strong magnet, and it hits harder and has better defense, while you can run Health Amulet. That's why Seer Knight's number 4. Number 3 onto the list is actually going to be Dorgo. And Dorgo is fast. This thing has 116 speed, although while it doesn't have the best bulk, it's the moves. It has Poison Barbs and Barbs, while also having Slapdown. We already talked about how OP Seer Knight is with Slapdown and Barbs. This thing has Poison Barbs on top of that. It is faster, and it has a better offensive typing. Dark Ancient's a lot better offensive typing than Fire Metal. Fire Metal can hit quite a few things, but not too much. You pretty much need to run Slapdown or Mega Punch in order to hit all the other threats. Dorgo can hit a lot of threats with Dark Ancient, which is pretty amazing. It also has Baffle. It also has a Surrogate, which can take abilities. And since it has Barbs and Poison Barbs, you can have this as a suicide lead and place Barbs and Poison Barbs on the field and destroy. This thing is impressed me a lot. This thing is really, really good. And it's definitely one of the best Lumians in play in terms of a suicide lead. There is one Lumian that does it better, which we'll get to in a little bit. But Dorgo is still really good. And the fact that it also has Slack down to get rid of items, and the fact that it can take Ace, makes this thing really good. Definitely a top 3 barb setter in Loomian Legacy. And that's why it's in the number 3 spot. Number 2 on the list is actually going to be the original barb setter itself, Lumello. This thing has defense. This has barbs, poison barbs, and provoke. And it has great bulk, 95 HP, 86 melee defense, 81 range defense. This thing is bulky, and it has an ability where it takes even less damage from chomp-like moves, and it poisons them. So you can actually kind of poison stall with this thing too as well. This thing is insanely bulky. It is not even funny. You can play so many sets of barbs down if you have a good matchup. People often have to lead with something that's the best against Lumello. That's how OP Lumello is. You can also use Lumico with this trick too. Lumico works just as well as Lumello, if not even better in certain areas. And since it has Provoke, it can also stop other people from sweeping it, which is really good. Lumello is definitely one of the best barb setters in the game. And despite being one of the bulkiest ones, it's unfortunately not number 1. There is a barb setter which, in my opinion, does a little bit more than Lumello, while being less bulky and also a lot faster. Although this thing definitely does better if you want to tank more hits, and this thing is definitely the best if you want to place multiple sets down. The best barb setter in all of Loomian Legacy is Gobademic. This thing is the fastest Loomian in the entire game, with 123 speed. That's the fastest in the entire game. Yes, it has no bulk, but it has a lot to go with it. It has poison barbs and barbs, just like Dorgo. This is just as good as a suicide lead as Dorgo, but it could be even better. Since it's a pure toxic type, it can actually get rid of poison barbs itself, which, yeah, that's pretty good. With immunity eyes, makes it so you're immune to other abilities. Baneful means that you hit harder with Muck Blast, so if you can place poison barbs down, you can hit harder. And you have Health Gift. And this move is awesome. Since you're the fastest Loomian in the game, you will almost always get this move off. And if you have a Loomian at full health, you sacrifice your low HP Gobademic and you bring him back to full health. Yes, full HP. This thing is amazing. You could set barbs, poison barbs, get rid of poison barbs, hit hard, and be immune by other statuses while also health gifting into other Loomians to get their HP back. This is probably the best support role out of any Loomian and Loomian Legacy, and also the best barb setter in all of Loomian Legacy. And it's probably one of the best suicide leads as well, and that's why Gobademic's number 1. And here it is, Gobademic, the best barb setter in all of Loomian Legacy. So if y'all say Gamma Slugling in the comments below, I will give y'all a number, and if that number is picked, y'all will have a chance to win. And like I said, it's a double. 2 numbers will be picked. I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!